Thank you very much, Mr. Director. Just a quick comment on encryption since it has come up. It's important to remember that if encryption is restricted in the United States, it will still be very easy to download strong encryption from hundreds of sources overseas. And in my judgment, requiring companies to build backdoors in their products to weaken strong encryption will put the personal safety of Americans at risk at a dangerous time, and I want to make it clear I will fight such a policy with everything I have. Now, with respect to my first question, Mr. Director, I want to talk about accountability at the CIA. The agency's 2013 response to the very important report on torture stated that the agency agreed that there were, and I quote here, significant shortcomings in CIA's handling of accountability for problems in the conduct and management of CIA activities. The document goes on to state that, and I quote here, the CIA must ensure that accountability adequately extends to those responsible for any broader systemic or management failures. It has now been 3 years since the CIA said that. Is it still the case that no one has been held accountable for the systemic failures that the agency has acknowledged?
First of all, Senator, I want to say that I respectfully disagree with your opening comment. First of all, U.S. companies dominate the international market as far as encryption technologies that are available through these various apps. And I think we will continue to dominate them. So although you're right that there's the theoretical ability of foreign companies to be able to have those encryption capabilities that will be available to others, I do believe that this country and this private sector is integral to addressing these issues, and I encourage this committee to continue to work on it. The agency, over the course of the last several years, took actions to address the shortcomings that we have fully acknowledged in the detention interrogation program. There was individual accountability that was taken, as well as accountability for some of those management and systemic failures. And we'd be happy to address in a different setting the details of those accountability steps that I think the committee is aware of.
I want to make sure I heard that right. I believe you said that individuals have been held accountable for systemic failures. If that's the case, I certainly think that's constructive. I will say we will await your classified response so we have more details on that. But I heard you say there have been individual accountability, and I'd like to see the details on that.
Right. Any type of systemic failure is going to be related to the individual's failure to either provide the type of management and oversight or the performance. And so there is a combination of factors that contribute to systemic shortcomings.
Were individuals held accountable? It's a yes or no answer.
Yes.
Okay, I will look forward to getting that response, and I appreciate that because I think that's very important. Let me wrap up with a question about an upcoming policy that we're all going to be tackling here on the committee. Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act is up for renewal or expiration next year. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence has disclosed that under Section 702, the CIA routinely conducts warrantless searches for the emails and other communications of specific Americans, and the year before, the CIA conducted nearly 2,000 of these warrantless searches. In my judgment, if there's evidence that an American is involved with terrorism or espionage, the government ought to pursue that lead aggressively. Agencies can get a warrant to read the person's emails, and in emergency situations, which I strongly backed, they can even obtain the communications right away and get judicial review afterwards. My question is, if there was a rule that said the CIA could only search for Americans' communications under Section 702 if the Justice Department has obtained a warrant, with the exception for the emergency situation or when a person is in danger, would the CIA be able to comply with that rule?
I will have to get back to you. That's a complicated issue, and I don't want to give you an off-the-cuff response. I want to make sure that you get the answer that that question deserves.
Fair enough. I would like that in writing. Could we have that, say, within 2 weeks?
We will do our best to do that, absolutely.
Okay. I think 2 weeks ought to be sufficient, Mr. Director, and I appreciate the fact that in both areas you're going to get back to me. We'll look at what part of the responses has to be classified and what part can be discussed in public, but both with respect to individual accountability on torture and this question of 702. I look forward to your response.
Thank you, Senator. I should point out also, I think something that you would be appreciative of is that the agency has appointed a Privacy and Civil Liberties Officer that is a full member of our senior staff that we want to make sure is going to be fully involved in all of the activities that the CIA is engaged in to make sure that we are appropriately protecting the privacy and civil liberties of our citizens.
I look forward to meeting that individual. Has the person been appointed? Are they available to meet with members now?
The person has been appointed and is operating within the CIA. This is his second or third week.
But please ask that person to make an appointment at a time of his convenience with me.
Surely.
Thank you.